The fallout from the hurricane relief has showed so much about what's going on in our nation. And it's wild that it took a hurricane for us to think FEMA could be insolvent. The lack of transparency in the relief efforts has just gotten darker and darker. We're finding out more and more every day. Let's listen to the first-hand videos of the people that were there.
I've heard social media saying like there are 8 dead in Spruce Pine. Maybe they have 8 confirmed bodies, but I have to tell you the truth here, folks. You can smell the bodies in certain places along the river. There were vultures out. They have marked, with they being the National Guard, have marked over 100 bodies in a 6-mile stretch of river. Possible bodies, just where they think they are. You can't see them, guys. The bodies, the smells, the things are either buried in sand or they're up in the trees and they're crushed in sediment.
Yeah, I just saw a chicken right there. You couldn't really tell. Like, you'd smell something, or you saw flies.
Yeah,
So the National Guard, is there a lot of National Guard helping right here?
There weren't at first. The first 4 days, 3 to 4 days, we were down here by ourselves. We were helping each other. This entire thing got cleared to here by locals, by the local farmer and our neighbors. The evacuations that happened on this road were primarily started by myself and my neighbors and the local farmers on this road. And then the National Guard got here the day before yesterday. I'm so confused on my days because I haven't had internet or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But the National Guard did get here, and the National Guard, in collaboration with some fire and rescue folks, were able to help us airlift a 96-year-old couple that had dementia, and they needed to leave. They couldn't stay here. And so we were able to get choppers to them and get them out.
That's good.
But, you know, people are still missing. They have, they are now bringing in body recovery teams. Their goal is to specifically get and retrieve bodies so that they can get them to the medical examiner and check their teeth records. So that process is really hard. And it's going to be really challenging. Like, a gentleman handed me body bags, which I had body bags in my car all day yesterday. And I had to explain to him something that had to be explained to me, even as a rescuer. When I watched the National Guard and they confirmed that the smells I had been smelling were most likely bodies, I was like, well, where are they so I can get to them? You can't get to them. They're crushed in debris. They're up in trees. They're under sediment. They're under sand. Unfortunately, it will be a very long time before you find all these people that are missing. And I haven't even had internet, so I don't even know what the number is. And they don't have a number here yet because we're still getting communication.
And where is here generally? Would you call this Green Mountain?
This is called Red Hill.
Red Hill.
That's called Green Mountain.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. The county line was the river. The river's way wider.
We're hearing from people now that the power is coming back on. There's cell service and actually Starlink in the area. And it's really starting to expose some things that we've known and we've thought about, but we never actually thought, could it actually be true? The media showed they completely can't be trusted, and politicians have gotten caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and what have they done? They point the finger the other direction. I mean, I've showed video after video. I've given you article after article showing and citing the things that I've talked about. You know, you hear these stories and they're heart-wrenching. They're terrible. And I lived through Ivan. I lost my childhood home. Blew the entire inside of the house completely into the back pasture, destroyed the house, got hit by a tornado. I went through Katrina. That one was terrible too. Watching the fallout, seeing New Orleans, going through New Orleans. It was wild to see the devastation. And then through Sally, right here in this house, I vlogged it on this channel, the destruction of Pensacola. We had our bridges destroyed, our major bridges. Like, most of downtown was underwater. Like, things were just absolutely destroyed, and you sit there waiting to fend off the looters. You know the sheriff's department's overwhelmed. That's why I take these videos so seriously, and that's why I jumped on this series, to show and to give exposure to those in need.
Asheville is horrendous. It looks like a freaking bomb got set off over there, especially where Biltmore is. If you're headed towards Hendersonville, that whole area looks like a bomb has been set off. But guys, that's not what needs to be covered. I need this video to go viral. I need you all to share this. Share it and tag and share and tag. Get this out. I need this to reach as far west. People, we have communities. We have people in these Appalachian Mountains right now. Right here in these Appalachian Mountains, we have brothers and sisters that are stuck, that are trapped. It has been 7 days. 7 days since Hurricane Helene hit the United States. We've got people trapped in these mountains. And people are asking where our military is. Our military can't do anything until the leader of this stupid country right now signs off on it. So our military is stuck. They cannot put boots on the ground. They cannot hike these Appalachian Mountains. They cannot rescue these people that are in these mountains that are stuck. They can't get to them. They can't do anything. Our military can't do anything because they will not sign the orders to release them. It is up to us, American people, and we are doing everything we can. We got hit in Greene County. Our riverbank is gone. Houses are gone. I need y'all to understand, outside of these Appalachian Mountains, the news are not covering it. They're not telling what it's like. The county above us, Unicoi County, is the county you've seen all over the news where the people were on top of the hospital, had to be rescued. You saw how much water they had. That water came down to Greene County. You all have saw Newport, Cott County. Dolly was there yesterday. Dolly Parton. That's where she done her press conference where she's donating $2 million. $1 million out of her pocketbook and $1 million out of her donation, or out of her fund. Guys, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina is 1,000 times worse than the news has made it out to be. There is people, I need y'all to understand, especially coastal states. You all that live in a state that is surrounded by the ocean, that it connects to the ocean, when you get hit with a hurricane, yours involves an ocean. That ocean comes in, it floods you, but it sucks back out. You are still left with your buildings. You're still left with your homes to be able to go in and see if you can salvage anything. Okay? You're left with that. These people aren't left with that. These people don't even have a structure to go back to see if they can save anything. These people don't have anything to go back to look at. It is a concrete slab, and it's here, and it's in Unicoi, and it's in Cott County, and it's across that state line in North Carolina. And I'm going to tell you now, North Carolina is so much worse than anywhere. Those mountain towns, you've got to understand, people live off grid for a reason. They want to keep talking about the death toll. They want to keep comparing this hurricane to Katrina and the death toll. I'm here to tell you now, and I've told other people, and I've talked to news stations, and I'm telling you, this death toll will blow Katrina out of the water. There is people we don't even know who was on those Appalachian Mountains hiking them. There is people that live off grid for a reason. We have no idea how many people lived in those mountains. We don't know how many homeless people had camps set up in those mountains. I can tell you now, where I live, there was homeless camps set up all along the river. And now they're gone. And we don't even know if the homeless made it out. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know anything, people. We don't know. You need to understand, there are bodies washing up. This ain't a joke. There is counties in North Carolina that don't have enough body bags. They have already filled thousands. There is one county in particular, they've done filled 1,000 and they're begging for more because they don't have any more. Please do not compare this hurricane to Katrina. Don't even compare what Florida got from Hurricane Helene. Do not compare what they got compared to East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, because I'm going to tell you now, we're not the same. We are not the same. People have asked, why were we not prepared? You can't prepare for something that has never happened. It's the same as asking Florida, why are you not prepared for a blizzard? Because a blizzard has never happened in Florida. I'm in Tennessee. I do not connect to an ocean. There is no reason that we should have had that much damage. Have we ever been flooded by hurricanes? Yes, but nothing like what we just endured. You've got to understand, we didn't have an ocean that come in and then suck back out.
You know, from the very first video, I talked about something else was afoot. I talked to you about how a lot of this land is going to be grabbed up for pennies on the dollars. It's one of the greatest land grabs of all times, just like it's happening in the condo crisis in South Florida, and just like, you know, it's probably going to happen where these hurricanes have hit. these investors are going to come and buy this stuff up. And now I'm wondering, we're in October. We vote in November, the beginning of November. These ballots, these mail-in ballots, probably already out. Some are going to be going out or coming back. The mail carrier, the USPS, has said they're not going to deliver mail in a lot of these places. They've said we just can't do it. What about medicine that's got to be delivered? A lot of people get their medicine through the mail. You really got to start thinking, the longer the power is out in a lot of these places, you got CPAP machines, you got a lot of life stabilizing things. There's just a lot of questions. But the biggest one is absentee ballots here in red states. We got 3 big states, swing states: Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. And I believe North Carolina was carried for 70,000 votes. That's the margin of error of all these ballots, these mail-in ballots. Now, how's that going to work? Now, I want you to comment down below where you're going to fill in the lines of what I'm trying to say. Because if I say yay or nay, somebody's going to come up with some crazy idea that you're misleading people. And I don't understand that. But let's just do some math. Okay, we got 26 or 7 days until elections. And you want ballots to go out into the mountains where there's not hardly any roads left. The mail service is going to go collect all these things and bring them back. And where do you think the polls are going to be? Where do you think people are going to actually go on foot to vote when a lot of these places are destroyed? Now, are they going to be able to go out to wherever and vote? I mean, did you trust it last time, or are you trusting it now? They're going to have mobile voting polls? Like, are they going to have places and fields to vote in now? Because unless they clean these buildings out and they get things going all over North Carolina, Tennessee, northern Georgia, are people going to be able to vote properly? And if this is a close election, which it probably will be, there's some major questions to be asked there. And I think people should start talking about it now. And politicians should start talking about it now. And you need to start calling all these local politicians and figuring out how they're going to figure that out. For people to hate on content creators for trying to give eyes on to something that is so devastating that hundreds of people have died, and you're calling us the bad people, that is wild. Nobody would have ever seen these videos if it wasn't for people posting to the internet on an open source, free to upload place, or to some place that wouldn't restrict basic freedom of speech like X. All this stuff that I've really found for these videos has been on Twitter or X, because Facebook won't let you share it. X is the only place that you can even exchange these type of informations, and YouTube has gotten where they'll let you talk about stuff. They don't want the competition of content creators saying, hey media, you're wrong, or just in the face lie, okay? I've shown video after video, article after article where they have flat out lied to you, where politicians have flat out lied to you. I don't care if you're red, blue, left, right, up, down. I don't care. I just want some common sense. This is just common sense.
There's nothing here.
We're 8 days, 9 days post-hurricane, and that was the first FEMA drop I've seen here in the Swannanoa area.
They are coming out here to help and pick up the slack that's been left behind from our government.
If we're talking about federal assistance, I didn't see my first FEMA truck until, what is today, Saturday? I didn't see my first FEMA truck until Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And all I saw was a FEMA truck with a satellite on it, parked in a corner underneath some shade trees in the parking lot with no signage, no information. I don't know why they're there.
The word from the people that we talk to, and they say, when we say, who else has been here, can we help, maybe we can work together, they're like, you're the first ones, or the only other people that have helped us is another private, citizens that are just basically our neighbors or our friends trying to help us. They hadn't seen.
When you see Mayorkas come out there and say, we're going insolvent, but yet the media can come out the next day and say he's lying. Last time I looked, he was the head of the place.
Pivotal role in our shelter and services program that is poised to distribute $363 million to cities and communities in need of funding.
We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
Or you go on the FEMA website. All these citations we've given you were FEMA website. That they bragged about spending this money elsewhere, and now all of a sudden they're out of money. And we're staring at another hurricane here in the state of Florida. Tampa looks like it's going to get hit right smack with a number 3. Okay, they haven't even picked up the trash from the last one.
Please watch this video to the end. Is all I ask of you. Please watch this video to the end. Do not pass judgment. Listen to every single word that I say. My name is Cassandra. I live in a little town called Spruce Pine, North Carolina that was directly affected by Hurricane Helene. Anybody in their right mind thinking that outside people should not be speaking on what the government has done or is not doing to our area is insanity to me. As someone who is here at Ground Zero in Mitchell County, North Carolina, it is going to take you as the creators on this app to speak up to get us help here. Because I will tell you, our government is not doing a damn thing for us. They are not doing anything. I have had 3 tractor and trailers from Florida denied entry. I have had 2 trucks of supplies coming from West Virginia denied entry. Now you tell me that people don't have the right to speak on our area? You're wrong. They do. We need people on this app to speak up and do something and help us. And I say us, I am blessed. God, am I blessed. My power came back on last night. I've got a little bit of cell phone service. I'm at Walmart. I don't have water. It'll probably be months, but you know what? I am blessed. I am blessed. My house is intact. There is people that have died, that are gone. There is families that don't know where their loved ones are. There is babies, children that have died. So anytime you want to cancel someone for speaking about what our government is not doing.
I never thought somebody would try to cancel me for trying to get people help. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. You know, I guess this is called investigative journalism. And when you see something that needs to be shined a light on, you point at it and you make a story. And that's what we did. Most of us content creators, we saw a problem, we needed help, we pointed at it, and we showed people through a camera what needed to be done. And it seemed like it worked. Things started moving. Politicians started having to go on the news and go on the air and explain what was going on. Funding started to get moved, and I saw a while ago that the 101st Airborne might be headed that way. I don't know how many, probably just some oversight guys, but things were starting to move. But then people pointed fingers at us and said that we were evil and we should be canceled. I mean, Hillary Clinton went on the news the other day and said that they will lose control if social media is not tamed, if there's not an arbitrator. And here's the thing. Who is going to be the arbitrator of truth? Who does that? When you look at these fact checkers, who's the fact checker? Most of them on Facebook, you'll never know who they are. It's just somebody they found to fact check it. And when you look at the news, you have CNN on one side and you have Fox on the other. And I thought we were dealing with facts, but they're completely different. So who's going to be the arbitrator of truth? There shouldn't be. People should see this, they should see this, and they should see this, and they should make their decision. That's the First Amendment. that we should be able to have freedom of press, be able to go out and put information out there, have an opinion, argue about it, but not try to cancel each other. You should never try to shut their printer off. Like, who's going to be the arbitrator of truth? Elon was brilliant in saying that, whether you agree with him or not. You should have a platform to be able to say what you want to in the town square.
But things have changed pretty quickly. My contact up in Johnson County, Tennessee, she goes by the name of Linda. She's not associated with the government at all. She's just trying to coordinate ground efforts. And this is the message that I just got from her early this morning. I was asking what she needed, and she said, let me see what's going on. There was a little bit of craziness going on yesterday. Supposedly, all the donations coming to my company, Skydive Mountain City, from other skydiving companies are property of Tennessee and can no longer touch it. It all has to go to the armory, in which it is sitting around and only getting to whomever can get there to pick it up. Obviously, nothing of that is legal. I am trying to figure out what to do. I had 2 caravans coming from Ohio yesterday full of generators and chainsaws that turned around without the drop. If they landed here, the sheriff and the sheriff's department would have taken all of them from me and don't have their crap together. Please, one sheriff was supposedly trying to get generators to his house because he has no power. But I don't know that for a fact. Lots of corruption in this small town. That's why it's important for me to make sure things go where it's supposed to. Parslet XP U.S. Veterans Corps from Rayford has been flying the CASA, which is a large transport plane, up from stuff for her, Linda specifically, and they didn't want to come here. They are friends of mine for many years. This is the corruption that's going on. Please share this, because no flights can go in and get to where it needs to go in that county, and I'm sure that's happening in other places. Share this around, put pressure on the sheriff's office of Johnson County, Tennessee, to allow flights to come in. This is not right. Please share it around. I have specific requests. Like I said, we're transitioning over to long-term sustainment. I need Starlink. I need generators, small generators, like the small Honda, small generators, lightweight generators that I can carry in the plane. But I need Starlink, I need generators, I need power cords, things like that. So share this around. We're going to be all around North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee today. I don't care where the Starlink is. I don't care where the generators are. We'll go get them and get where they need to go. Please share this around quickly. Thank you.
Trust me, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be up in the middle of the night making this video to get it out there in time to try to, get that last bit of resources to those that are actually needing it. Because I'm for the little guy. I'm for the person sitting on the side of the mountain right now. And I know that the U.S. could do better, that the U.S. Army could do better. There could be drones all over that mountaintop searching for people. And I know they could find them. And I know they could insert helicopters anywhere they want to on the side of that mountain, pull whoever they want to out of there. They could have airlifted the entire mountain out by now. I mean, they did it in Afghanistan. 122,000 people they evacuated out of Afghanistan by air in 2 weeks. But yet, when it comes to U.S. people in need, the government doesn't send that type of aid for us. And that really scares me. Trust me, I'm the most patriotic person you'll probably ever meet. I served my country and I still serve my country. But I also want everybody to vote and hold those in power accountable. Because we the people, it's time for us to start making videos, voting, educating ourselves, having discourse. Whether you're blue or red or in between, you should be able to talk to each other without trying to be violent. That's how you have. That's how ideas develop. That's how we progress as a country. Not talking to each other or trying to cancel each other. I mean, where did this ever come from? Who came up with that? I think the wildest part about making the videos is people were calling me Russian propaganda. I was like, I've never even met a Russian, I don't think. I'm just here trying to draw awareness for people to get aid in need. I thought it was an idea that I could help with. I was tired of watching the media spin this. I knew that there were assets out there that could fix this, and I knew the bureaucracy was not going to let it happen. And that if we jumped in, content creators, and we made enough noise, those people would get food, water, and equipment there. And it seemed like once the news knew that they couldn't let it go, like they couldn't put this down because we were making so much noise. I mean, my last video got 1.6 million views in one night. What was important was getting seen. But then for everybody to say you're misleading or you're distorting the truth, I'm like, distorting the truth that they're going to get aid? Like, we're helping people, there are dead people out there and we're getting them help. But for that to get thrown back was like, well, I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody would be mad about drawing attention to it. And then the more I looked at it, the more I noticed that the media and the politicians had started saying that was misinformation to protect their own selves. I'm like, well, if you were doing everything, people wouldn't be saying anything. Like, if you were doing what you were supposed to be doing and you were transparent about it, nobody would be saying anything. And for us to sit here and squabble, all we are trying to do is make sure people have food, clothing, shelter, and it's done in a timely process, and the whole politician's accountable for what they're not doing. You know, these politicians should be ashamed that we should even have to get on here and say, where's the 101st Airborne? Where's the 82nd Airborne? Where's the National Guard? Why weren't they staged beforehand? Why weren't these supplies pre-positioned? You know, I understand that this was the first time for this area for that to go on up in the mountains. But you're a disaster relief. You're supposed to war game these things. I remember flipping through a lot of these old field manuals and everything when there was supposed to be a plan in place for all this stuff that could happen. I've been trying to get everybody to think and ask questions, and we've been doing a great job. I've in the comment section, there's been some amazing comments just giving information. But we have all this equipment. We have all the funding for these things. It exists. You just got to force politicians to use it. When you come out and you say, oh, you're only going to get $750, but we just spent $157 to Lebanon, $157 million to Lebanon. We just spent $5 billion for the Ukraine, $327 million last month to the Ukraine for electrical infrastructure. What about our own infrastructure? What about our own people? You keep taxing us to death, and then you make us feel bad when we have a disaster and we need some help. If you're not going to help us, don't tax us. That's all we're asking. Like, we'll help ourselves. We can do that. But you want to take 35% of our income and then give it away. I mean, we're still paying the Taliban, for goodness sakes. Spent 20 years fighting them, and now we pay them, I think, every month $40 million. It might be every week, but it's like something crazy, like $40 million a month. Like, that story broke not too long ago. But they're not going to tell us that. Meanwhile, we just want $700 for some groceries, What's that? What's the harm in that? And to think people will start arguing about what budget it comes from or what administration put it in place instead of saying, you know what, let's fix this. Congress, rally up. Let's write some paperwork up. Let's move this money around. Hey, let's make it to where some people can get some money for groceries, okay? Insurance is going to take a while to get there. And the fact that you got to chase these FEMA trucks down, that's wild too. You got to ask yourself, why are people mad? Why is everybody mad? And I got to think, well, maybe they're tired of their tax dollars being spent on things other than them. They're in a time of need. Their lives are destroyed, just like they were here for us here in Florida. It happens to us a lot here in Florida. But then you look up and your tax dollars are spent everywhere else but on you. The one time you ask for it, no. The one time you need the army, they don't come. The one time you need the politicians, they don't come either. Unless it's election season, which it's election season. They finally got their butt burned bad enough on this that they showed up. You know, another one is it's blatantly obvious that the media lies to us continuously. You can do a quick Google search. You can do a quick search on Twitter, quick search on Facebook. You can do a quick Google search to each one of Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, and you can find an article that's the complete opposite of each other on the same topic. And you realize this is infotainment. This is not the news. This is information entertainment. They are spinning everything for ad clicks. And then they point the finger at other people for doing that. When I've never met any of these people in my entire life, I make half these videos on my cell phone. And for somebody to point the finger at us, the content creator, that's just doing it for the love of it, versus people that make tens of millions of dollars a year, the media spins everything. And there is zero trust in them now. I can literally pull you like video after video, and I'm probably going to show them in this video of the press secretary coming out there and saying this, and then come out and say this. We're tired of being lied to, and finally we have a platform to talk back to the media. You know, like I have zero trust in the media. I have zero want to be on the media. I just like sitting on my couch and talking about stuff and sharing cool ideas and things to those that want to read them. And this is real talk. This is just being very serious in the moment. Why do we put up with this? I mean, peacefully go vote. Peacefully do not read their articles or do not believe what they have to say. You should look at this article and this article and choose what you want to choose. Not have the government tell you what you can't read and what you can read. Okay? That's the whole idea of being informed. Freedom of speech. Land grabs and catastrophes. We know that every time there's a catastrophe, somebody comes in and profits off of it. They just steal everything away. And it's frustrating, and then the insurance companies sink in on everybody, and we just know there is something afoot on all of this. Every time we see a catastrophe, we know that somebody's on the other end benefit from it, and we didn't even see it happening until 10 years later. And lastly, the fraud, waste, and abuse of all of our tax dollars by guys in $5,000 suits with comb overs. You know, it's like, I see them come out, you know they're spinning something politically. They tell us that they're going to do something for us, and we never see them again. At some point, it's just heartbreaking. But in conclusion, when all of a sudden the government comes in and takes the resources of the local area, you're just like, okay, you're either going to do it all, or you're going to give us the power to do it. Because when they have the power and we try to do it ourselves, then they kick us out. They steal our resources. They try to arrest us. They ask us for permits. That is something I just, you know, like the helicopter guy that tried to save people and they tried to arrest him after he had saved somebody. You know, some of that just doesn't make any sense. Condolences, my prayers go out to everybody that is struggling from this. I hope everything can be returned to normal soon. I hope everybody in Tampa is bracing for the next one. I hope that everybody can be prepared and try to get by on this, and we try to get through it the best we can. Comment down below if you have anything to share. If you have Discord, if you don't agree, comment down below. If you want to argue, comment down below. We need to be able to talk back and forth about this. You know, keep it civil. Don't just slander each other or say, oh, that's misleading. Everybody here is doing the best they can. We're all just trying to get through this together. We're all just trying to help each other out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.